Hey, good morning, everyone. I think these days we have a lot of tools which actually help us understand who we are. Is why I said, requested my friend, it's okay, we all can find out what a person is all about once we hear him out. So I'm here to, I met Jose the other day in event with Prashant's book launch, and then he wanted me to see if I can talk about what we are doing out here. Just a quick background, serial entrepreneur, been spent in about 15 years in the industry. Then moved to a not-for-profit initiative. I was the founding CEO of Deshpande Startups, where my intent was more to see how can we create entrepreneurs in non-metros, because we have seen enough of entrepreneurs coming from the metro cities. They get adequate support team and everything, but I wanted to see how can we create this momentum to the downstream, and I was quite successful over there, thanks to Desh and the entire leadership team over there for getting an entrepreneur to drive an incubator. That pretty much solved what we want to do it out. And moving forward, we said, how can we go to the next stage? So I'm also a bit small angel investor. Me, Prashant, Mondas, all of us were talking. There is so much what we have done in the agri sector, but still we do hear the complaint that the bottoms up is still struggling. The farmers is not able to meet out. And that's when the Krishikalpa started. Just to get a quick genesis. The reason why we started Krishikalpa was more to see because we have seen more than 1400 plus agri-tech startups in the country. And if you yet go and ask a farmer or even the learner crowd here, we struggle to name after 20. However intense we might be connected to the startup ecosystem. That's the reality. So we said, how can we create an ecosystem where we can make agri-tech startups work with the government. You can't work in the agri space without actually working with the government space. And how can we work with the farmers, universities and all, triangle together there. So we said, like my previous speaker said, most of us have tried top-down approach, but if at all we want to solve an agri-tech problem, we have to do more bottoms-up approach. And my experience with foundation helped me a lot to understand the non-metro ecosystem. We used to work with more than 1 lakh plus farmers. All of them were asking very minuscule questions what were actually required for us. That's why we said, let's not create another for-profit entity. We'll create a not-for-profit initiative where our entire intent is we not build any tech. We'll only try to see, if I have to put an analogy, there is a village represent farmer represent a village, and if startup represent a vehicle, there is no road in between. Can Krishikalpa, along with the government and other donors support, can we lay the road so that we can take these vehicles to the farmers and then make them get the advanced technological penetration so there. So that's what we started. This is the background. All the people are from entrepreneurial background. None of us, though we run a not-for-profit initiative, for us we run very clear with the for-profit entrepreneurial mindset. Right from Prashant, Pai, Chris, all of us who are the backers for this. As I said, this is the reality check, what I was talking about. And incidentally, I was also speaking in a NABARD function on 2019. I got to know about the term called FPOs. Just for the people who are unaware of the FPOs, it's a farmer producer organizations wherein group of farmers come together, form an entity. And here the beauty of this particular entity is that you and me can't be a shareholder there. It's only a farmer in that particular locality can be a shareholder. And the structure is constructed in such a way that any profits what they make, it get dispersed among themselves. So we all were wanting to see how can we make them run it out. Unfortunately, the numbers are, if in Karnataka, it's more than 1500 plus. In entire country, it's more than 25,000. If I have to put the overlay of financial stuffs, hardly 2% of the FPOs make about 5 crores of revenue, annual revenue, which is such a devastating state. And that's when we said, is there a way where we can teach an entrepreneurial mindset for them? Majority of them teach only on the governance part. Can we do on that part of the side? So we said, let's work out on we create an Excel platform for these people to see. Coming from my background where implement is a bigger challenge, how can we work it out? So we said we're going to create it out. Our theory of change was, can we take, since we all come from a startup network, can we introduce these companies to the farmers directly as much as possible with the local administrative government? When I say local administrative government, horticulture director, ZP CEO, all of those people who are not so much familiar with this particular thing. So we said, can we, by introducing them, can we actually directly make a buyer and seller meet each other? For example, mango buyers meet happens in Bangalore. I mean, that's something which is so surprising me. There are only three districts in Karnataka where mangoes are grown, but the hub happens in Bangalore. Why not take these buyers to those districts? So that's what we did in our entire engagement here. So any FPO is supposed to do all of these activities. They are supposed to do the inputs, they're supposed to do the financial service and all of it. Bulk of them stop at input because it's a low hanging fruit. We started, how do I gain the confidence in FPO? I said, the moment farmer sees some money, he or she will start valuing us. So we started doing with output market linkage, where we made them realize that additional penny. so that they'll start trust. Then slowly we started introducing the technology for them, because enough of people have already been taken right for these farmers to say in the name of technology, not majority of them understand what we actually communicate to them. And here the empathy with the farmers was very much required. So we said, we are not doing anything. We will act as a platform where we'll start sharing our entire connects with those specific crops, do the due diligence and then give it to them. So how do we do it? So as I said, the number was so slow. Then we said, whenever we select an FPO, we can't do an entire systematic change. Per district, we'll take 2 or 3 FPOs. We'll create them as a role models. When I say role models, can they do a revenue between 5 to 10 crores? I'm just putting revenue as a metric so that the realization will happen much faster. Seeing that, other people will start taking it out the care. So that's when we started doing a SWOT analysis of these FPOs, connecting them to the bigger ecosystem, and then we did what we did. The engagement was, we put our business mentor, we connected startup mentors to be handholding these FPOs, and then see how can we create to the next stage there. Provided resource common, gave a network for them. We actually went to each of these districts and started hands-on training with them, rather than we pulling out in the initial stage. Subsequently, the way we started realizing metrics is, whatever transactions we do, if it is anything less than 12%, let's not, if the farmer is getting anything less than that, we'll not support it out. So in the last 2.5 years, we have created more than, this is the August data, we have done about 50 crores of direct market linkages, which has added about close to 5.8 crores of additional income for the farmers. So that's when they started trusting us much more. And banks are actually come forward to loan these FPOs. Until that, there's almost zero loans were given to these FPOs from the banker system. Now, at least about close to 8 crores of loan is being processed for some of these FPOs. So I'm also incidentally on the advisory board of SBI Startup Initiative. I actually had a privilege to do this particular conference with the startups in Taj here, where I got all of these startups who are wanting to procure from these farmers, producer organization or the village level entrepreneur, for which bankers give a guarantee. So first I did with the startup where they assured the buyouts so that they can actually touch upon them and they go to the next stage. Similarly, for the first time in the country, we actually gathered something similar conference here. We took about 26 FPOs, of which more than 14 to 16 of FPOs are doing anywhere between 3 crores to 16 crores of revenue. And mind you, some of these FPOs have never ever crossed more than 50 lakhs of revenue in the annual year for the last 4 years. So that's the benefit what we started giving them. And these bankers started trusting them and then started giving them further loans so that the technology penetration can happen much faster there. So the way we seek the forward is, we work with the agri-tech startups very closely. We work with the donor systems, and since we are a not-profit initiative, we put our capital financially first to see can we revive 2-3 districts in the state and then see how we can work. As we speak, we have been partnering with NABARD to see how can we scale to the other parts of the world and then go to the next stage. With this experience of mine, I was actually invited by Government of Karnataka to see how can we make a $1 trillion economy. I wrote a author for the chapter for agriculture. How can we go deeper, solve that implementation piece of it, so that we can go and tell any startup who is doing so good in the technology, can we make them understand what is the ground level part of it? So that's when the meeting the roots will happen out there. So just to get you the glimpse of what we did with one FPO story, if I may get it out here. So this is one of the FPO which we started in Ramnagar way back. We actually looked at all their, they have all the certification required for the companies, and then they do it out. We did a SWOT of that. Then we actually connect them to a lot of startups. We made them do bit of value addition. Just instead of doing a direct trade, we actually made them do bit of value addition, starting from small packaging, de-asking, some of basic stuffs and all. And that's when this FPO started doing all of this addition. They crossed about 5 crores of revenue after the first year. Second year, without our intervention, they are doing more than 6 crores of revenue, which talks about the sustainability and then see how we can take it to the next stage. Like this, we have actually done with all the FPOs in the Karnataka state. As I said, we work in about 7 districts, close to about 18 FPOs we have been working in the high-touch model. And slowly we start going to the other districts, other part of the countries to see how we can take it up to the next stage. I think with that, I end because my time is up now. Till the time my friend comes here, I just wanted to show you how we track this thing. So the way we track, this is something very, very crucial for us. We just simply track on an Excel sheet. Since we know who is the customer who is giving an order, what is the commodity, we track, and we are more interested in, because of the direct connect, how much farmer is getting more. So this is how we track, and then we go to the next stage part. Okay, thanks. Any questions, I'm happy to answer and then see it. Thank you.